All right, everyone, welcome back to Ohio State Football with Scarlet the Great here on YouTube. Find us at youtube.com/GoBucks. Johnny Bullet here, about to be joined by Florida Corey. We're going to unpack the Rutgers game, a game where the Buckeyes look like they're hitting their stride 2 weeks in a row now, finding improvements, defensive improvements. Also, we're going to talk about CJ Stroud becoming that guy, as well as a Heisman Trophy perhaps coming home to Columbus, Ohio. Thank you so much again for joining us. Right before we get into the show, I just want to ask quickly, please like and subscribe, like this video, subscribe to this channel if you are a huge Buckeye fan, because we're going to be cranking out content all the time. We'd love to get 3,500 subscriptions. We're over 3,000 now. By the Penn State game, a game that will tell all about this Buckeye season, and a game, if it was played right now, I'm going to go ahead and say I think Ohio State would win. Without further ado, I'm going to bring on my fearless co-host, Florida Corey.
Florida Corey,
it's me and you. We're back. It's been a little bit. We're getting things figured out as always. We'll never have it all the way figured out, but we're getting there.
No, we are the Ohio State Buckeyes. We'll never have it all the way figured out, but we're figuring things out.
Yes, much like this team, you and I are trying to make these improvements. It's good to see you back, my friend. And the Rutgers game, let me first say, Ohio State is really coming into its own. And it starts with, here's going to be the elephant in the room. And I've seen people talking and tweeting, as they probably should, because it's fun, about CJ Stroud. And where are you all out talking about that CJ Stroud hate and yada, yada, yada. Okay. I'm going to own what I said on the show a couple weeks ago.
They shouldn't be the starter.
They shouldn't be the starter. They absolutely could not be the starter. Reason being, we saw inconsistent play. First two games, then third game, bad play. Straight out bad play against bad competition. I didn't know what else to call it by that point. And it was little thing. It wasn't just making mistakes or missing a pass. It looked like a mental block, all kinds of things. Was there an injury? Was there not? Okay. I had no other choice, and the other people had no other choice, yourself included, Corey, who said, look, I want to see the guy continue to start. And then even you said, okay, maybe it's time to see something else because something's not connecting. We had no other choice but to honestly and objectively, just like we called for Bryson Shaw's job and Tommy Eichenberg's job, the guy's not special because he's a quarterback, right? We said
quarterback's position you have to have locked down the most of any position.
Right. So we just looked at what we saw and said, this won't work. And I guess people are on their high horse like, well, I said it would work. And well, you're right. Only because you were wrong then and you're right now. I don't know what to say. I will go ahead and say he looks great now, or he looks much better anyway.
Still one game, but yeah.
Yeah, still one game against a mid-tier opponent, but I'm happy about that.
Of course. We want him to succeed.
Yes, it wasn't like you rooting against him. You might say, oh, you rooted for him to be sat down. Yeah, only because he wasn't playing well. I just wanted good quarterback play. Don't care where it comes from. And look, the kid, I want to say a few things, a caveat. So, in listening to Menace to Sports and learning more about football through people who really know what they're talking about, you analyze throws. Middle of the field throws are easier to make. Alabama started with Bryce Young, making him just make middle of the field throws mostly. CJ was asked to make throws all over the field, sidelines, everything that's more difficult. This game, they added some RPO to help him out. Most of the completions were in the middle of the field. I know two off, not much to the left still. I know two offhand that were to the right, to the sideline. One was a beautiful dime to JSN, and the other one was high again to Olave, but low enough to make the catch. So, yes, Ryan Day did some things to help him out, as you would do any young quarterback. But he legitimately made the throws, Corey. They were pretty. Yeah. They were on time. They were on point. And receivers did what they do, right? They're great. They got a lot of yards after the catch. It was a beautiful thing to watch.
Yeah. I was taken aback by. I like the fact how we're utilizing Wilson a lot more now. We got him all over the field, which is nice. And to be honest with you, I was with you. I mean, after the Oregon game, you and I were not totally on the same page as far as Stroud was concerned. It's not that I didn't feel that he had improvements to make. I just felt he did enough to be the starter.
Right.
And the Tulsa game just threw me back. I couldn't believe how. I don't care who that is. I don't care what defense they're playing. That's Tulsa. You should be lighting them up. And he just looked really bad, really Bowserman type bad. Mm-hmm. And you could say it's because of the shoulder injury, I guess, and maybe that's finally gotten enough rest, and he looks a lot better now. Some of those were absolute dimes yesterday to Rutgers as we record this on a Sunday. He looked like what we saw, we talked about this before we recorded, is the biggie, right? It isn't just 7-on-7 out there. You know, you got to be able to do it with the bullets flying at you. And he was getting pressured and still making the key throws. I mean, it's Rutgers, I get it, but it's a key step forward.
Yes.
And I'm actually excited to see him get under a little duress and make the throws he needed to make, especially that touchdown to Rutgers where he took a hit and he waited in the pocket, didn't panic even though it was collapsing on him, and he saw, you could see from his point of view in the replay that he saw Rutgers was going to clear out or open up in that clearing, and he's like, okay, there's my guy, just got to give him a second, he's going to be there. Hit him right in the hands, and it was an easy catch and pitch and catch, and he went for a touchdown. That's the kind of thing we needed to see from Stroud, because that going forward, when you get to play Penn State, for example, who has a great defense, you need to make those throws with regularity.
You're going to be under pressure. You're going to take some hits.
Yeah, and it's not going to be fun. And you go into the big house of Michigan, you're going to have to realize that Hayden Hutchinson's playing well. They got a good pass rush. You need to. I mean, we got a great offensive line. Don't get me wrong, but you're going to get up. If Rutgers can hit you a couple times, those teams certainly can. So you better be able to make those throws with regularity. And we weren't seeing that, but now we're starting to see some possible improvements. I will say that I think it's pretty obvious he's locked it down at this point. I don't think there's going to ever be a spot where he's not the starter this year. Barring injury, God forbid.
Yeah, barring injury, barring another Tulsa-like performance, but it may even take two of those.
It'd take a couple of those.
It would take one of those and another blame it on the shoulder for him to, but like
the shoulder's crooking back.
Like basketball's the worst, miss a shot.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Or I got fouled. Nobody was near you.
Yeah. So there's a couple moments because, like, in the I'm a fan of doing little stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Just little things. I don't need you to drop to just whistle it in, over a linebacker, under a safety, whistle it between two defenders down the field 30 yards all the time. Just sometimes going through the progression, taking a check down before you get hit, that thing is a thing of beauty. You took a sack or an incompletion, turn it into a 4-yard gain. Great. 2nd and 6 is awesome. I love it. Mm-hmm. Kyle McCord in the Akron game, there was a play where he went progression, climbed up, checked it down to Teague. And I was like, yes, that's Stroud didn't seem to have any pocket presence before that. I was like, that's what I want to see from a quarterback. The very next play, he got pressure, climbed up, overthrew Kate Stover for an interception. So I was like, well, dang it. Stroud in this
group chat, and then he does that.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I was really thrilled. 2 plays in particular, not the beautiful passes that CJ threw, but it was he's pressured. Instead of just rolling out to his right and throwing it away like he used to, step up, avoid the rush, step up, and then find the wide open guy in the middle. Little stuff like that, you can see him growing up. Mm-hmm. And I think the arm talent was always there. The accuracy potential was always there. So now I think we're cooking with gas. Also on Corey, on the offensive side of the ball, I don't think this is hyperbole or fanhood at this point. TreVeyon Henderson's averaging 9 yards a carry. I get it. He's not getting a lot of carries. For the naysayers that say, yeah, he won't get an invite because he didn't get enough carries. Bear with me.
I'm one of those naysayers.
Let me say this. I don't know if Mayan Williams is going to get a whole lot of playing time moving forward. If he does, those snaps that Teague's been getting will just go to Henderson. Also, you won't always be up by 50 at half, so he won't just get rested when he had a stinger. Yeah, you'd like to be, but you won't. And he won't have a stinger and up by 50. Of course, you're not going to play him then. Furthermore, Day said at a press conference this past week, he likes his main guy to get 25 carries. So that is the goal.
Yeah, but Urban liked to play freshman, allegedly, too. So,
yeah, I just think in a game flow against a tough opponent, he knows. And if you look at Ohio State's run-pass balance, we are actually running more than we pass. I'm not saying he'll get enough carries to win it, but I think he's a real – look, at this point, no one else is really – Bijan Robinson, no one else is really going off. Bryce Young will have the stats by the end of the year. Shoot, CJ Stroud will probably have the stats by the end of the year.
yeah, what are CJ's stats now? He's run 12 TDs.
He's over 1,000 yards easily. I don't know what they are offhand, especially with yesterday was a Justin Fields type stat line where you have more touchdowns and incompletions type thing. But I think at this point, Henderson has got to, if he played in the South, he'd probably already have the hype.
I think he had more hype, but I mean, it's just a long shot. But he's definitely on his way to a really, really nice freshman year for Ohio State. Probably might end up having the best freshman year ever at Ohio State. Because I remember Claret was the talk of the town for 1,200 yards or so. And he was rightfully so. Claret was a beast, but he also got hurt. If Henderson stays healthy, and I'm knocking on wood right now for that, for most. So I'm not going to play with.
Especially the way this team breaks like glass. Every drive, so-and-so's
and he keeps getting stingers and stuff like that. But I think he's 540 yards or so right now that he has. That's crazy for 5 games for a guy who, now granted, 270 of it came in one game, but he's shown the big play potential. He's almost like guaranteed a big play every game. It's crazy. Even in limited carries, he had a 44-yard touchdown where it just, you open up a hole for that guy. It's like, well, goodbye, forget it.
He's on pace for like 1,600, if you add in receiving yards, probably 1,700 scrimmage yards.
That's crazy.
Probably even more. Because
and he didn't even start the first couple of games.
Yeah, he's not been getting snaps due to not starting and lesser competition.
I definitely think next year he should be in that talk, but running backs also have a hard time getting it these days, it seems like. So next year you're going to have 2 guys, and probably Stroud and Henderson, both in very top 5 odds.
If you forget his name, it's right here.
I had a long day.
No, I understand.
I spent all day fixing brakes on a van. Could you?
He didn't have Henderson's name written in the grease on.
No.
I think how many carries? How many carries a game does he need, in your opinion, to get an
20,
invite?
At least
20 to get an invite?
Did they get an invite? 20.
He'll have 2,200.
Dude, he's not
Jabril
Peppers. He can't just do nothing and go. So it's like,
but 15 carry. Look at 20. He's getting like 9 a game, and he's borderline there.
But he's got to catch up too. I mean, he's got to get, I'd say, 20 carries a game. He's got 150 to 200 yards a game, and he'll be there. But
just Corey.
Plus, he's a freshman. They don't even like to do that.
But 2,000. You're saying he needs to get 2,000 yards just to get an invite?
Yeah.
I think he gets an invite with 16 or 17.
Okay. If he does it, great. I'm not going to complain.
I can't believe you want to bench the kid. That's the way debates go nowadays, right?
You clearly are the Crowley camp.
It's because you're from Florida.
That's true.
All right.
Henderson wasn't from Florida. I don't like him.
I want to move on to the last point of the show.
Yes.
I think Matt Barnes.
Get on the Barnes train, folks.
Choo-choo.
Yeah.
I think he's getting himself a defensive coordinator job next year and a hefty pay raise.
Completely agree.
It's Akron and Rutgers. Okay, I get it.
And Tulsa. He did call plays for Tulsa.
Yes, and it was
really up and down for Tulsa, yeah.
And the defense before was so laughably bad that these teams would have moved the ball on us.
That's the thing. That's the thing. That is the absolute fact right there. Akron, it did move the ball up for one drive. Akron and Rutgers easily would move the ball if our defense was as pitiful as it was in the first couple of weeks.
Yeah, because there was one look, no adjustment, and it was just easy to pick apart. And that was the big thing, no adjustment. Barnes has quickly moved back to a lot of too high. A lot of times he's gotten Ronnie Hickman away from the line of scrimmage. It's helped him a ton. Lathan Ransom off of man-to-man coverage, which has helped him a ton. Taraja Mitchell, you see him blow plays up in the backfield, pursuit to the sideline even, and tackle a guy. Defensive ends are now being more disruptive. Zach Harrison caused an interception with a nice pass rush. I still wish we would just play a 4-3 sometimes, but they're doing a good enough job with that tweener linebacker bullet safety, basically playing 3 safeties at all times. They're doing a good enough job. They found a way to keep Bryson Shaw in there, but give 2 other safeties to kind of help him up where he's just not sitting in one high on an island all the time.
I love the 2 deep safeties we're playing.
It's just, look, I mean, Chris Ash.
We don't have the personnel for single high right now.
Yeah. Look, the Jim Tressel days, who was calling the defense then? Chris Ash, Luke Fickell. People for years have sat with 2 safeties, sometimes high, sometimes offset, but always 2. And been good defenses for a long time, right?
And honestly, the way Ryan Day loves the single high, it shows that Barnes, how much he really respects Barnes, for Barnes to come to him and say, look, we need to play 2 high safeties. And maybe it was Day's idea. I don't know. But we know Day loves that single high Legion of Boom defense. So my guess is I think it's a safe assumption that Barnes went to him and said, look, Proctor's gone. Shaw is not a high single high. We don't have a single high. We need to drop 2 back. And it's going to significantly help our defense if we do this. And it has. And Ronnie Hickman's turning into a star right before our eyes.
You just ask him not to do stuff he's not. You ask him not to be a linebacker. Okay.
Exactly. And we have young defensive linemen that are just playing out of their minds right now. I mean, Tyleik Williams, who thought that he might be the best defensive lineman in that recruiting class? With JT Tuimoloau and Jack Sawyer and Mike Hall. Who thought that?
And didn't he come along because we missed on the
the guy who went to Maryland
Malone or whatever?
Malone, I think he went to Maryland. I don't know if he went. He might have gone to LSU or something. I don't remember. I don't care where he went. We got Tyleik Williams, and he's a future stud, already a stud. So, and not to mention, it's like the linebackers are starting to play better. Cody Simon's turning into a really solid linebacker. TreVeyon Mitchell apparently had one of his best games as a Buckeye. And then apparently, we got guys like, I don't know why Steel Chambers didn't play as much, but he still is pretty good when he's in there. Tommy Eichenberg got a pick because Zach Harrison caught it. I mean, it was like there's good things happening all around. Denzel Burke is a stud, obviously.
If Denzel Burke played in the South, he'd be getting a lot more love.
He'd be getting Heisman hype. They would definitely pay a judge to look away from what Burke did if he did anything criminal.
Oh yeah, he would be Sting. I mean, the guy. I don't think nobody expected him or Tyleik Williams to be that great. I don't even know what Tyleik Williams is, if he's a 1 tech or a 3 tech.
He's technically a 1 tech. He's technically he's the size of a 1 tech. They got him.
He is the size. Yeah.
But he's just disruptive. He caused a pick yesterday, and I think he got a sack and caused a pick. He's just like, dude, this is a freshman. He's playing better than, I wouldn't say he's playing better than Garrett necessarily, but he's playing just a notch below Garrett.
Yeah, at this point, I wouldn't be upset if he was the starting one.
Yeah, it wouldn't bother me.
It wouldn't bother me at all. Again, we talked about that on the last show with Zach, that it was a process to thrust these freshmen, to supplant these more seasoned guys. But I love what they're doing. I love that they're Cam Martinez coming in and playing the Ransom role better than Ransom played it, and putting Ransom back at safety to kind of take away some of that space from Shaw, right?
Mm-hmm.
And help him out and let Hickman jump back there. I think
Hickman, Martinez, and Ransom are the best trio we have right now as far as safeties and cover safeties and bullets and whatnot. That's where we are right now, and it's actually helped tremendously to put that kind of speed on the field.
It has, and again, it's putting guys in the right position, because Ransom really struggled at times, and Hickman really struggled at times, and now they're just asking them to do different things, and it seems they're
with
a lot
Burt,
better.
Brown, and Banks were set at corner with the rotation. Ryan Watts played a little deep safety yesterday. I saw.
I would love to see a healthy Cam Brown. I do think Banks can get picked on a little bit, and I was sad to see him. I guess just playing limited snaps again. But that's the last key piece. I think Corey,
Mhm.
real quick, with the defense improved, I'll say this, and I'm a little bit of a realistic pessimist. The ranking systems, there's two things you could do. Who have you played? Along with most deserving type thing, and and also you can just do who's the best right now. Honestly, I like Ohio State to beat anybody not named Alabama or Georgia today. I really think, and granted, bad teams have been playing. Rutgers is not off. They're not the Rutgers of old. This team, from the eye test, just doesn't scream weakness and loud weaknesses at any places anymore. And backup offensive linemen seem pretty shaky. But besides that, I really think the Buckeyes are turning the corner. Absolutely no one in the Big Ten scares me. Like, not at all. Like, yeah, I think with the firepower and Georgia's one-sided offense, I think we would really give Georgia a game. I really do. By the end of the season, I think you can be there. Iowa, I'm not. Michigan, not even close. Penn State, nice defense, not enough. I really like where the Buckeyes are right now.
Yeah, I agree with you. I like the fact we're seeing improvement. That's the biggest thing. We're seeing improvement in all areas of weakness. We'll again, October 30th, we'll know. But that's being said, thank God we're getting it earlier than like the week before or something, which I think is a bye week or is it Indiana? Anyway, October 16th is a bye week. Gotcha.
Okay.
Anyway, I love the fact that Ryan Day had the cojones to say, look, Kerry, I'm sorry. We got to go to a different direction. And Barnes is absolutely delivering as of right now.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yep. All right. Appreciate you talking this with me, Corey. It's good to be back. And here's we're on to Maryland. We're on to Maryland, and we'll have another show of Coaching the Bullet midweek, and then we'll be on to Maryland. Thank you guys so much for joining us. As always, goodbye. God bless, and go Bucks.